What's up gamers, Cryptico here, and welcome back to Lowering the Mark, a show where I analyze the current and former world records of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe time trial runs to see how these records get faster over time. We'll look at elements such as the loadout, racing lines, and mushroom usage to better understand what's bringing these times down. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to my channel and hit the notification bell to be the first to know when my videos go live. For today's episode, we're visiting the Egg Cup for the final time this series to look at quite possibly the most compressed course this game has ever seen, Dragon Driftway at 200cc. On May 5th, 2017, the world record for this run was set at 1 minute 20.629 seconds by the American player T. Tyler. Fast forward to the end of last year on October 6th, 2021, and the record was set at 1 minute 16.458 seconds by the French legend Army. That's a 4.1 second improvement between records and a 5.1% faster time. Our former world record holder Tyler has broken over 100 world records across 16 unique runs and has spent just over 250 days holding at least one world record. Our current world record holder Army has broken over 3 times as many records across nearly 3 times as many unique runs and has spent a respectable 1,200 days holding at least one of his 20 current world records. At pre-release, this world record was still somehow faster than my own best time, and it would proceed to get further away from that as it dipped into the 121 to 20 range, mostly thanks to Tyler and Darren, the former of which got to celebrate getting the first 119 ever recorded just a week after release. At that point, it would take only 6 world records to get another second break and dip into the 118s, and we have Ome Mona and Dorasa to thank for that. Fast forward to the beginning of 2018 and we see a rematch of the Allies and Axis powers as Jimmy and Brionac went record for record in a race to 117. Italy would prevail to get the sub, but Jimmy would get the last laugh as he posted this 117.77 that stood as the world record for over 200 days. Spanish player Ivan would beat his time, then Jimmy came back and brought the record down by a few more tenths. About now is when Army stepped in and, in his first 4 records, established a reign of over 500 days. Now, in October of 2020, he was ready to get the next and possibly last second break and went 116 for the first time. American player Italic stepped in for a brief challenge, but Army would eventually pull away and set a few more long-lasting records on his way down to where the record is today. In total, the record was broken 71 times by 14 different players. These loadouts are an interesting set for a pair of 200cc world records. Tyler goes with the combo of the male villager driving the Streetle with the Azier rollers and the Cloud Glider. Army goes with Baby Daisy driving the Biddy Buggy with the Leaf tires and the Parachute Glider. The performance from both loadouts here is pretty interesting. Tyler leads by over a point in top speed, while Army leads by that same margin in the handling stat. For the acceleration, grip, and mini turbo stats, however, both players are no more than half a point apart in either stat, with the advantage staying with Army. With such similar stats in those important areas, we're left wondering how Army was able to shave over 4 seconds off Tyler's former world record. Perhaps the lighter weight may have had something to do with it. Dragon Driftway is one of those courses you like to race on, but it's not always your first choice. It's similar to Neo Bowser City in that it's congested, aesthetically pleasing, and incites way more chaos than intended. The time trial is much more entertaining because watching the player navigate through all the twists and turns at a fast pace is really satisfying. Let's dive into it. Tyler hits a rocket start out of the gate and grabs that quick jump boost, normal, and super mini turbo through that first S turn. He'll ride out the boost of that and start drifting to end S1. Army also gets the rocket start, jump boost, and same 2 mini turbos Tyler got as he rides out that super mini turbo boost to the end of S1. There's not much to pick apart here from these runs just yet, but we do see Army jump out to an early lead thanks to his longer lasting mini turbos. He's up on Tyler by over 0.2 of a second going into S2. Tyler brake drifts for this tight super mini turbo before starting up another drift he'll carry off the course for this super satisfying turn skip. He'll get the super mini turbo, then chain a normal mini turbo to that as he crosses the bridge to close out S2. Army also brake drifts slightly for the super mini turbo and even does that same turn skip, but grabs the normal mini turbo in the air before similarly chaining another mini turbo across the bridge to close out S2. There we saw both racers go for the same shortcut, but what differs is what they did afterwards. The super mini turbo from Tyler may have seemed faster, but he was further away from where Army was when he landed on the other side, so naturally he comes out ahead there. We'll break it down further on lap 2, but for now, Army is ahead by 1 second going into S3. Tyler drifts off the ramp for a tight super mini turbo and then chains a normal one around the next turn. 2 jump boosts later, he'll use his first mushroom to cut through this grass patch around the hairpin and gets the super mini turbo as a result. He then closes out the lap with a quick jump boost. Army gets the quick jump boost and stays in the middle of the dragon's spine as he chains 2 super mini turbos through the S turn. He only grabs 1 jump boost off these humps as he prepares to take that same shortcut Tyler did. Only difference is he gets the ultra mini turbo and sort of hovers over the final ramp en route to the finish line. Both racers looked pretty similar there, but Army ultimately did S3 much faster than Tyler thanks to those spin boosters and the additional super and ultra mini turbos. After 1 lap, he leads Tyler by over 1.1 seconds. To start off lap 2, both racers grab that jump boost into a quick mini turbo before chaining a super mini turbo to that as they ride out the rest of S1. Seeing it side by side makes each run look pretty similar, and it is, but thanks again to those longer lasting mini turbos and slightly better positioning, Army has increased his lead to over 1.4 seconds at the end of S1. Let's examine both racers here for a second. They each grab that super mini turbo around this turn here and go for this turn skip ahead. Pausing so we can see why Army is much faster here. The landing point for Tyler is way over here, and he loses a bit of speed as he continues to charge that super mini turbo. Army, on the other hand, gets the normal mini turbo to avoid sliding way over there, which leads to a faster S2 from him. After that, both racers get this normal mini turbo to close out the section, where Army is up on Tyler by over 2.1 seconds at the end of S2. Tyler drifts off the ramp and goes tight around the next turn for the super mini turbo, then chains another tight drift to that for another mini turbo. He follows that up with 2 jump boosts before using his second mushroom to cut out this final turn for the super mini turbo and jump boost as he comes across the finish line. Army also drifts off this ramp before tightly charging up this ultra mini turbo around the first turn. After chaining the super mini turbo, he falls to the third hump and gets a jump boost. He'll then use his second mushroom for that same shortcut and ultra mini turbo, then fits in this quick mini turbo jump boost combo to close out lap 2. That time around, Army raced through S3 a full 0.3 of a second faster than Tyler did, and it's likely because of that better line and extra ultra mini turbo. It also didn't hurt him that he was able to fit in that mini turbo before the final jump boost, but that's just what Army does. He's ahead now by over 2.5 seconds after outsplitting Tyler's lap 2 by over 1.4 seconds. For his final lap, Tyler starts off with that jump boost, normal, and super mini turbo through the first few turns. Into S2, he gets this tight super mini turbo before going for that turn skip again, resulting in another super mini turbo. After fitting in another quick mini turbo, he drifts off the ramp for another tight super mini turbo chained with a normal one before hitting 2 jump boosts down this back straight. He closes out the race with one last mushroom cut and super mini turbo with a jump boost to come flying across the finish line. Army also follows his lap 2 strat and gets that jump boost into the quick normal and super mini turbos. After the super mini turbo around the first turn of S2, he too gets the turn skip on a better line as he charges up this mini turbo off the ramp and carries it around the next turn for the ultra mini turbo. After chaining a super one, he falls all the way to the third hump for another jump boost and then uses his last mushroom to charge up another ultra mini turbo and closes out the race with a quick mini turbo jump boost combo. He'd end up posting a time that was well over 4.1 seconds faster than Tyler's former world record. So by grabbing infinitely more ultra mini turbos, staying on a better line all throughout, and better optimizing that turn skip, Army was able to put the exclamation point on his 10th consecutive record on this course. A reign that started all the way back in October of 2020 has now seen over 1/3 of a second improvement on that initial 116.81. Only question left is how much further can this record go down? The best known splits for this run showed that there is a lot of time that can still be knocked off as of today. Army owns all 3 of the best known laps, and the first 2 are much faster than his own world record laps. With a little over 1/10 of a second that can be knocked off laps 1 and 2, it's clear that his world record was not on the fastest known pace. At least his world record lap 3 is pretty well optimized, but those first 2 laps, accounting for a combined 16 frames faster than his world record pace, is truly something. There's no telling if a 0.1 is a max world record, but I have to imagine it's pretty darn close. Guess we'll just have to wait and see if Army is interested in going after that time. The worldwide top 10 consists of 8 national and 4 continental record holders. Army sits at the top, North American record holder Italic is a couple tenths back in second, and Technical rounds out the top 3 around half a tenth behind that. To round out the 116s, we have Eternal X in 4th and Alberto in 5th. A few tenths back, we have 6th through 8th place players in Panda, Yoshi, and Pi, all separated by less than 1/10 of a second. Down there at the bottom, separated by only 2/100ths of a second, is 4 Laps to Win and Amon. These leaderboards seem to have a theme going on for them, and it's that whoever the world record holder is has at least a few tenths of a second on everyone else in the world, if not way more. Army's been at the top of this board for over 250 days now, which is a testament to how strong this record is. But no record is ever safe, and there's always someone creeping up the leaderboard hoping to take his top spot away one day. That day is not today though. That's the end of episode 79. Hope you found it interesting. Be sure to tune in next week as we wrap up yet another season of Lowering the Mark. You won't want to miss it. If you enjoyed this video, like and share it with your friends and comment on which course you'd like me to analyze next. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.